Hi, this is Gadgetwala and this is the Tech 2 review of the Moto G6. Six years ago, it appeared that Motorola has finally cracked the secret sauce for becoming the undisputed champion of Android budget smartphones, primarily under 20 or 15,000 rupees. Bring premium features at a really affordable price, and the Moto G heralded them in a whole new era of budget smartphones. Now, if only they would have followed through on that promise, they would have been number one today in this segment. But history hasn't been very kind to them. The onslaught of Chinese phone makers, and in the last 4 years, especially the likes of Xiaomi and Honor, have put them in a corner and forced them to innovate in a category where they are struggling to retain the position in the top 5. The Moto G6 is exactly that, a response to the immense competition in the form of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, Honor 9 Lite and Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. Now, before I jump into the review of the brand new, why am I showing you only the back? Because baby got back. The back is one of the juiciest parts about this phone. But before we talk about the G6 and its review and whether you should buy it, here's a quick reminder of what I thought of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, which is the reigning champion of this segment, and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro 1. With regular usage, we found out that the Asus Zenfone Pro Max survived for 2 full days. The Note 5 Pro stands on its own and is a force to reckon with. Now, if you're a sucker for long, detailed analysis, then right now, actually not right now, let this video finish, and after that, go to tech2.com, where Xiaomi has done a super detailed, thorough review of the Moto G6 on the website. The one we are talking about is the 4GB 64GB model. The G6 has been launched in 3 variants. The Moto G6 Play, which is launched for 11,999, that's the cheapest model. The G6 starts at 13,999 and comes in 2 options of 3GB 32GB and 4GB 64GB. We have reviewed the top end version. There's no milder way to put it, but the Moto G6 is a comprehensive handset. It's decent, but does it defeat the reigning champion, the Redmi Note 5 Pro? Absolutely not. The Redmi Note 5 Pro completely exceeds our expectations when it comes to what a budget Android phone should look like and should perform like. The performance is top-notch with the Snapdragon 636. The display is one of the best in this segment, and the camera sets a whole new benchmark for sub 15,000 rupee Android smartphones. And it is exactly in all these departments that the Moto G6 is mediocre. The display is not an AMOLED, so you won't get those nice, big, bright, punchy colors that you're used to. There is a slight bluish tinge which can be adjusted with software, but is still on the cooler side of things. The design is actually fabulous. There's front and back glass with Corning Gorilla Glass, which does bring in an issue of practicality because the glass is a huge fingerprint magnet and also quite fragile. So you're gonna have to slap on a nice tough case if you want to take care of your brand new Moto baby. But having said that, the screen is not bright enough for sunlight legibility. That was a problem with last generation, the Moto G5S. That seems to have continued and they haven't fixed the problem yet. Performance-wise, I have no idea why Motorola chose to go with Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 chipset instead of the 600 series that both its competitors, the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro, go with. There's absolutely no explanation for it. Now, benchmark-wise, this processor gets decimated by Snapdragon 636. But fortunately, benchmarks always only tell a one-sided story. When it comes to real everyday usage, despite 450 being a lesser powered or a lesser capable processor on paper, this offers a breeze in terms of everyday usage. We played all kinds of games from Asphalt to PUBG to Nova. At no point was there any sort of stuttering or freeze frame or overheating. None of that happened, which means that the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 along with 3 or 4 gigs of RAM is an able machine. But hey, We know the market. We know all of you. You love specifications. As if उसी से आपका पूरा अस्तित्व है वो define हो जाता है अपने दोस्तों के सामने. But that's how we buy our phones. भाई तेरे पास कितना RAM है? तेरे पास कौन सा प्रोसेसर है? मेरे फोन में तो ये है. तेरा कितना outdated है? That's how consumers talk, right? So there might be a bunch of consumers that Motorola will miss out on, especially those who are into specification porn. That's such a thing, spec porn. Yeah. Not to be watched in incognito tab, regular, PG-13 rated. The third and one of the most crucial departments in which Motorola has mediocre performance compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro is the camera department. One of the most decisive ones for most customers across price segments. In terms of specs, it carries the same amount of megapixels as the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So a 12 plus 5 megapixel dual rear camera and an 8 megapixel front camera. But the results in daylight are good. In low light, let's not even talk about them. But overall, the responsiveness and the UI and the results on the Redmi Note 5 Pro are way better than the Moto G6. I'm bringing up the Redmi Note 5 Pro again and again and again because this is the reigning Badshah, the champion, the Bazigar, the Messi, the Nadal, the Serena Williams of this space right now, and there's really no taking away from that. Even though the top-end version of this does touch about 17,000 rupees, I think those extra couple of $1,000 that you'd be spending will be a worthy investment. So with that, I'm just going to cut short this review of the Moto G6, which could have been a great handset, has the intention and the makings of that as well, but unfortunately does not deliver as hard a blow as Motorola would have liked to the intense competition that Xiaomi and Honor have presented today. If you want a phone with remarkable 2-day battery life, I suggest you look at the Asus Zenfone Max Pro 1. You can take a look at that review right here. The description has the links for it. And if you're just looking to buy any other phone in this segment, then go for the best one, which is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro. The Moto G6 could have been great, but settles for just about okay average. Well, let us know what you thought about the review of the Moto G6 right here, and subscribe to Tech2's YouTube channel, and don't forget to watch Nandini's brand new episode of FOMO, which is short for Fear of Missing Out, जहाँ पे वो dissection करती है पतंजलि के नए आसन का, which is apparently called Simasan and Kimbhasan. Who the hell names a messaging app Kimbo? Messaging app Kimbo. मुझे तो लगा था किम कार्दाशियन के साथ कुछ पार्टनरशिप कर लिए, बट इसमें तो किमी काटकर भी नहीं है. It's really bad. It's off the Play Store. Okay, bye.